We're here at the Bomber Museum in Nanton, Alberta.
All right, well with that, I'm going to put my hearing protection in.
Pretty cool museum. I don't know how many times I've gone past Nanton. I've seen the plane, but I've never stopped in the museum. But this gives you a bit of history, unlike you usually get to see. This is the plane, the Lancaster Memorial, and look at all the people that showed up to see the spectacle. And actually, they said that this is one of 4 left in the whole world of this exact plane. Here we go, let's fire it up.
I'm Drew, and I'm a documentary filmmaker with a goal of visiting 25 towns in 2025. To get out and really explore the province and uncover the little gems, the small towns that are the heart of the province. When I was a kid, I remember Nanton as a bathroom stop off the highway. But now that I think about it, there was another reason why we stopped there and not some other town. Every time I was told the same thing. Make sure you drink from the tap here, it's really good water. I never really questioned it, that's just what you did in Nanton. And now I finally get why. Found out Nanton was actually known as Tap Town, a place travelers would stop specifically to fill up their jugs with fresh spring water piped in from the nearby foothills. People said it was some of the best drinking water in Canada, so good that a local business eventually started bottling it and selling it. It's funny how you can stop somewhere your whole life and never really see it. This time, we didn't just drink the water though. We decided to follow the story. The town of Nanton was originally settled near Mosquito Creek. Personally, I think Nanton sounds a little less itchy. But being a small town with a massive highway running right through your living room, that's a unique situation.
Nanton's right on the Argentina to Alaska highway, but the bonus of it is it brings a lot of people through our town that would never stop.
Anyway, this time we really stopped. We came there for their roundup days, arriving just in time to catch the parade rolling down the street. A real classic summer parade where everybody comes out and the whole town just feels alive. But this wasn't just any parade. Nanton has this deep tie to military heritage, especially the Bomber Command, and you can feel that in some of the floats. They weren't just celebrating the now, they were honoring the past.
Well, that's cool. Parade's all done, wrapping up. People are migrating to the next things that are going on in Nanton. All right, we got one of our parade spectators, candy grabbers probably. Did you get lots? Have lots of loot?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. This is Thomas. Where are you from, Thomas?
I'm from Mongolia.
Where do you live?
High River.
Okay, so like on your shirt, you play soccer.
Yeah,
What brings you to Nanton today?
the parade.
What else are you going to see today?
I was gonna go to my grandma and grandpa's to have a barbecue.
Barbecue sounds good. That's fun.
After the parade, we made our way to the Bomber Command Museum of Canada. Honestly, the anchor of the town. It's wild that this thing is here in town this size. And here's the cool part. The museum really grew from the community itself. All starting back in the 1980s when a group came together to protect and restore a Lancaster bomber that had been sitting outside since the 1960s. Today, there are only 17 Lancasters left in the world. And this is one of the few that can actually fire up his engines and taxi. And this museum is an experience. You don't just walk around and read plaques. You step into the hangar and you're standing under these enormous wings. You're looking at actual bombs, real aircraft. The scale hits you. You can literally sit in the cockpit and get hands-on.
We're in the cockpit. Damien's gonna fly us. This gives you an idea of what it would be like.
And then there's the smell of barbecue outside. Families are everywhere. Kids are learning of stories that shaped our country. The community shows up to this museum, and it's just not history behind windows, it's a living history. Quick shout out to our media sponsor. Listen for the Backroads Alberta Minute on New Country Radio for updates on my adventures and ideas of things to do in small towns around the province. And while aviation is a big part of Nanton's identity, agriculture built the foundation here long before fighter planes ever showed up. Towns like Nanton really grew because farmers needed a way to get their grain to market. And of course, the railway made it possible for dozens and dozens of Alberta towns in the early 1900s. Nanton's first grain elevator went up in 1905. Eventually, there were 7 of them, rising up like a wooden skyline, a symbol that this land feeds people. Today, only 3 remain, and they're protected as part of the Canadian Grain Elevator Discovery Centre, a reminder of what this place was built on. Inside the grain elevator we toured, I learned just how essential these wooden giants were. They weren't just storage, they were the gateway. Farmers hauled the harvest here, the train hauled it out to the world, and towns like Nanton were able to grow because of that connection.
In the early days, Nanton was here. They had probably 6 or 7 elevators. The train would drop off a few cars, 1 or 2 or 3 at every elevator, up and down the line right from Calgary to Fort Macleod.
Now, we thought the day would finish with the rodeo, tied perfectly into this agricultural story. But sometimes the weather has its own script. A storm blew through and the rodeo was rained out. Nature reminding us exactly who's still in charge around here.
They've even got sad faces on the sign just like us. We're sad to find that came all the way here to Nanton and the rodeo is canceled. We just came from the grain elevator tour and it really attests to the agricultural industry in the area. There's a big company here in town, 2W Livestock Equipment. They make the gate panels for a lot of these rodeos and they're based right here in Nanton. I mean, Nanton is very connected to the rodeo scene in that sense, agriculturally as well as industry and all that kind of stuff.
So nature rained on our parade. But when the rodeo gets canceled, you go to plan B. Sugar. Well, not exactly a plan B since it was definitely on our list of must-dos. We ducked into the Nanton Candy Store.
So with the rodeo canceled, it's some pretty stormy looking weather. Swimming's out of the question too. They had the free swimming today. That's out of the question, but the candy store is still open for business. Chocolate pizza.
It's one of those spots that smells like vanilla and nostalgia. Walls lined with jars of everything you forgot you loved. It's a necessary stop. And with a storm, none of us really felt like having ice cream, so we left with a bunch of candy in hand instead.
Kit Kat drumstick.
Drumstick, I wanted to try it. It's probably going to be sweeter than anything.
Extreme Choco. Chocolate Kit Kat. And then this is peanut butter Kit Kat. Glass bottle Coke. Mexican Coke.
Suitably sugar crashed, we headed back to the museum and to the hangar. Like I said earlier, you walk in and the scale of these planes just dominates the room. But the magic here isn't just the big wings, it's the tiny details, like how these guys actually communicated up there.
That was Drew. This was a transmitter and receiver that was used in the Lancaster bomber. There was a position for the communication officer there. So the transmitter is the upper part, and down here is the receiver.
But Morse code would have been the easiest for them then, because...
Yeah, like Morse code is quite easy to hear in noise levels. Actual speech is harder to detect than sending Morse code. All of the communication officers had to know Morse code to be in that position.
And also encode it, and also use a code book so that the enemy can't figure out what you're saying.
Yeah, so each side would have the code book to decipher.
The Germans had their Enigma machine.
Think about that. You're in the dark, engines roaring, trying to tap out a message on a machine like that, knowing the enemy is probably listening. It's intense. And then you look at what they were actually carrying.
This really puts into perspective. This is like the size of one of the bombs, like massive. This would be pretty deadly. And this is what would be dropping onto, in the war. It's crazy.
After exploring the guts of the machine, we stepped back outside. And that's where the main event was revving up. It was full of people, families, veterans, kids, all waiting for one thing.
This is the plane, the Lancaster Memorial. And look at all the people that showed up to see the spectacle. It's really cool. It's pretty awesome. And there's like a memorial to this plane. And actually, they said that this is one of 4 left in the whole world of this exact plane. It's a unique experience because you don't see this very often. There's not many left. You get to see an old bomber plane firing up their engines. I'll give you, here we go, let's fire it up.
It's loud. It's powerful. And for a second, you're transported. You realize this isn't just a machine, it's a time machine. One of only a handful of Lancasters in the world that can still roar to life. And that happens here in the little town of Nanton. The engine's cut, the smoke cleared. Before the weather turned completely, we stopped into one of the shops downtown. Cute little gift shop with a variety of knickknacks and crafty things called Because I Said So. And I asked Pam, the shop owner, what keeps this place ticking?
Nanton is, I think, probably got all the good and bad of every little town everywhere. So there are just warm-hearted people here, people who've been here for 3 or 4 or 5 generations in some cases, and people who are brand new, have come from all over the world. And basically it's just a little town on the way to everywhere, where people help each other out.
Nanton, a little town on the way to everywhere. A couple episodes back, we were riding the rails in Stettler. And standing here, under the shadow of these grain elevators, you see the other half of the story. The train brings it out, the elevator holds it up. It's the spine of the province. But then there's the other side. Every dot on the map in Alberta has a war memorial. Usually a quiet stone in a park. But Nanton didn't just build a memorial. They built a cathedral of aluminum and noise. This entire town is the tribute. So yeah, they called this Tap Town because of the water. And sure, it's refreshing. But after today, I realized the water isn't the only thing worth drinking in. The history, the community, the sheer scale of what they've preserved here. That's the real sustenance. So next time you're burning down Highway 2, do yourself a favor. Don't just fill a jug. Stop the car and drink it all in. From trains, to grains, to downed plains. You won't want to miss what I discover, my adventures in the Crow's Nest Pass. Check out the next episode on Backroads Alberta.